In a small, secluded town on the fringes of London, a family sought a fresh start. They were drawn to a grand yet forlorn manor, nestled in the overgrown outskirts, that seemed to whisper promises of new beginnings. The manor stood as an enigmatic relic, untouched by time and absent from historical records and maps. Its imposing facade, cloaked in ivy and shadow, beckoned with a silent allure. The family, eager to escape the constraints of their previous life, viewed the manor with a mix of excitement and curiosity. It was an opportunity to breathe new life into a place that had been forgotten by the world. The manor's towering presence and the mystery surrounding it only added to its charm. They imagined the restoration process as an adventure, a chance to turn the old manor into a warm and welcoming home. Their initial enthusiasm masked an unsettling truth. As they crossed the threshold, the manor seemed to come alive with creaks and groans, its silence echoing with whispers of the past. Little did they know, the manor harbored secrets far darker than they could have anticipated. The thrill of a new beginning was about to be overshadowed by the manor's hidden past, one that had been carefully concealed and long forgotten. As the days passed and the family settled into their new home, the manor began to reveal its unsettling nature. At first, it was subtle, a door that seemed to lead nowhere, a room that appeared to vanish when not in view. The family dismissed these anomalies as quirks of the old house, remnants of its age and neglect. But as time went on, the peculiarities grew more pronounced. One evening, as the family explored the manor, they encountered a door at the end of a long corridor that, when opened, revealed nothing but a blank wall on the other side. This was not an ordinary wall, but an impenetrable barrier that seemed to defy logic. The family attempted to investigate, but every effort to find an explanation only deepened the mystery. The disturbances didn't stop there. They began to hear unsettling echoes, muffled voices drifting through the empty halls, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. These voices were not those of the family, they were faint, ghostly murmurs that grew louder as night fell. The sounds seemed to resonate through the manor, creating an atmosphere thick with unspoken dread. Their curiosity quickly turned into mounting concern. The manor, once a symbol of a fresh start, was now a source of unease. The strange occurrences became more frequent, each one more disturbing than the last. The family found themselves drawn into a chilling realization. The manor's oddities were not mere coincidences, but hints of something far more sinister lurking within its walls. The excitement of their new beginning was giving way to a gnawing fear, as the manor's dark secrets began to stir and come to light. As the family grew increasingly unsettled by the manor's strange phenomena, their curiosity led them to seek answers from the local townsfolk. The elderly residents, though initially hesitant, eventually began to share cryptic snippets of lore surrounding the manor. Whispers of a family who once inhabited the estate circulated among them, wrapped in veils of secrecy and superstition. According to these local legends, the manor was once home to a reclusive family whose names seemed to slip through the cracks of history. The stories were fragmented and contradictory. Some claimed that the family had vanished mysteriously, leaving the manor abandoned and forgotten. Others suggested that something terrible had happened to them, an event so catastrophic that it had erased their existence from official records. The common thread among these tales was a palpable sense of dread, a feeling that something unspeakable had taken place within the manor's walls. Determined to uncover the truth, the family began their own investigation. They combed through archives, local newspapers, and any available records, only to find their search thwarted at every turn. Official documents were inexplicably missing or incomplete, and historical records seemed to offer no substantial information about the manor or its previous inhabitants. The more they dug, the more the truth seemed to slip further away. The family uncovered fragmented stories and dubious accounts, an old journal with half-torn pages, a photograph with faces scratched out, and letters that hinted at something dark and unspeakable. These revelations painted a picture of a manor shrouded in darkness, but the pieces never quite fit together. The sense of mystery only deepened as the family realized that the manor's history was not only hidden but perhaps deliberately obscured. The revelations left them with an unnerving feeling. The more they learned about the manor's past, the more they felt like they were being drawn into a web of ancient secrets and malevolent forces. The enigmatic past of the manor seemed to be a labyrinth with no clear exit, and the family was trapped at its center, grasping at shadows as they tried to piece together the truth. As the days wore on, the manor's eerie nature grew more pronounced. The family's initial unease transformed into outright terror as they began to experience a series of increasingly horrifying events. Strange noises became commonplace, soft, disembodied footsteps echoing through empty hallways, and the unnerving sound of furniture moving on its own. Apparitions materialized in the corners of their vision, fleeting shadows and ghostly figures that vanished when approached. The manor itself seemed to respond to their presence with malevolent intent. Rooms that had once seemed benign now felt oppressive, their atmosphere thick with an unseen hostility. The walls appeared to breathe with a life of their own, and the air grew colder with each passing night. The family felt as though the house was alive, actively resisting their efforts to make it a home. Every attempt to settle in was met with increased aggression from the spectral entities that haunted the manor. Driven by mounting fear, the family delved deeper into their investigation, hoping to uncover a rationale behind the manor's sinister behavior. What they discovered was more chilling than they could have imagined. They found evidence suggesting that the manor was never meant to be documented or acknowledged in any official capacity. Records that should have existed were conspicuously absent, and the history they had unearthed hinted at deliberate erasure. The family learned that the manor and its previous inhabitants had been purposefully obscured from history. The family who had once lived there was erased from records as if they had never existed, and the manor itself had been concealed as a forgotten relic of a dark and malevolent past. The reasons for this historical black hole remained shrouded in mystery, but the implications were clear. The manor was not merely a place of historical neglect, but a vessel of something profoundly disturbing. The revelations deepened the family's horror. The manor's secrets were not only unsettling but hinted at a darker reality, one that had been hidden away from the world. As they faced the increasingly aggressive hauntings, they realized that the manor's history was intimately tied to the malevolent forces that plagued them. The manor was not just a home, but a prison of horrors, and escaping its grasp seemed more impossible with each passing day. As the family's investigation progressed, they unearthed a chilling truth about the manor's origins. The more they delved into its dark past, the clearer it became that the malevolent entities haunting them were not mere specters of a forgotten era. These entities were intricately tied to a horrific ritual or tragedy that had transpired within the manor's walls, a ritual that had corrupted the very fabric of the house itself. Documents and faded journals revealed accounts of a dark ceremony performed by the manor's original occupants. The details were fragmented, but the horror was unmistakable. It spoke of sacrifices and dark pacts made in desperate attempts to harness forbidden powers. The entities they had encountered were the tormented souls bound to the manor by these malevolent rites, their presence a constant reminder of the tragedy that had forever tainted the estate. The family's growing understanding of the manor's past only intensified their dread. The malevolent force within the manor seemed to feed off their fear and curiosity, becoming more aggressive as they uncovered the truth. The walls of the manor, once mere structures, now felt like a prison, with the very air charged with a malevolent energy that twisted reality itself. In a desperate attempt to escape, the family planned to leave the manor behind, hoping that by severing their ties with the house, they could escape its grasp. But as they packed their belongings and prepared to flee, they encountered a nightmarish revelation. The manor itself was a sentient, malevolent force. The doors they tried to open led only to more walls, the windows to endless darkness. Their understanding of reality was crumbling, distorted by the manor's dark influence. The final scene is a harrowing climax as the family finds themselves trapped, their efforts to escape thwarted by the very essence of the manor. The walls seemed to close in on them, and the oppressive atmosphere grew heavier, pressing down on them with a palpable sense of finality. Their reality had been twisted into a nightmarish tableau, with no apparent way out. The story ends with a chilling implication: the manor's grip on them is unbreakable. The family is left in a state of hopeless entrapment, the once exciting adventure now a horrifying reality they can never escape. The manor's sinister secret is that it is not just a house but a prison of unending terror, and the family's attempts to uncover the truth only sealed their fate within its dark, eternal grasp.